Divinitas salutaris, vertebras libertas.
Hello everybody, and welcome once again to the overview video following the last session, to serve as two things really. The first thing, of course, is to provide an overview of the campaign situation so far, which I think is quite a nice thing to do because it helps me to get things in my head, especially after I've tidied a few things up after the session. And hopefully it'll also provide a nice overview for you guys to clearly see what's going on in the campaign, because during the session sometimes things get a little bit out of control, I feel, with all that's happening. So this is a nice way just to round everything off and provide a nice bigger picture kind of outlook onto where we might want to go in the upcoming part or two. So that's the first reason for these videos. The second reason is, of course, for the roleplay, so that you can, if you're roleplay, you can obviously see the overview picture as well. So hopefully, even if you're not roleplaying, you can still get a lot of enjoyment out of this kind of video. And this one in particular is actually pretty useful. So please, if you're not in the roleplay, I would urge you to watch this short video. So first of all, the situation then here in Iberia is, on first glance, situation most dire for poor old Zixus. However, one of the benefits of these kind of overview sessions is I sometimes do a little bit of playing around with a couple of things to see what's going on. And when I noticed, looking in depth at this particular army Brennus, I could see that although it looks like a large force, it's a lot of warband, which are fairly weak infantry units, one swordsman who are a little bit better, some dogs, and a couple of family members. So that isn't actually that frightening at all. Far from it, in fact. Especially when you consider this. Take note, Zixus. If we attack this army right now, as in this turn, the Spanish army does not reinforce. We have a significant horse advantage, which means that we can outflank a lot of their infantry line, thus probably instigating a chain rout. We also have a missile advantage as well, should we wish to use that. So our army is certainly better made up to deal with this than the balance of power bar may first appear. So one strong possibility is to actually sally forth right now and take this army on in the field. Possibility. It is your decision, Zixus, of course, but that would be a potential stratagem. The other thing that got me thinking was, if we look at the Spanish army as well, this army is actually pretty poor in a siege. So, for instance, if you were to repel the Gaul army in an open field battle by sallying forth, then repel back into your Corduba, this army here is not best equipped for a siege. So you could then actually just sit pretty and wait, because they're not really going to... We know that these infantry can be pretty weak, because we have them ourselves. Easy to rout. Horses in a siege aren't exactly ideal, so this is not a sieging army at all. So, sally forth and then defending against this one, I think it doesn't seem as quite as dire when you break it down like that, at least in my opinion. But anyway, so I thought that was quite interesting in terms of the position of the exact situation here at Corduba after a bit of further digging. Hence, again, one of the benefits of this kind of overview. So, yes, that's the situation there. Of course, we know the situation with the ships. The Admiral Jabal is kind of beset and blockaded in by this Gaul unit. We are recruiting, of course, a couple of extra biremes here to come down and sort this problem out. Master of ships, hopefully that's to your liking. If not, you can always change the plan in the next session. But that's the situation that we find ourselves in. And that's, to finish off at Iberia, we have, of course, Theopanis' situation, which, of course, is to, well, he's conquered Carthago Nova. Where do we go from here? Do we go back and help Zixus? Do we push on maybe even to Oscar? To Oscar? Maybe even recruit spy and send out some sort of scouting system up here just to make sure there's no hidden armies waiting to pounce should we leave. Lots of opportunities and options open there. So that's the situation here. Anyway, in terms of the buildings, we are repairing the stockade and then building a Temple of Melkart, recruiting the Iberian, of course. In terms of what is available building-wise, here you go. This is pretty advanced militarily. There's a blacksmith available, but a bit lacking on the infrastructure side of things. So farming, roads, mines, sewers are all still available, and we've got plenty of time to build those because the population isn't near its upgrade cap. So some work to be done there. So Theopanis, get to it, sir. 441 in the stats. There's your traits. Good job with capturing Carthago Nova. Very efficient indeed, indeed. Let's just take a quick look at you. Anything? Nope, still the same traits for you. Okay, fine. Of course, we have the diplomat here. Massanisa Corrales, kind of just waiting in the wings. So let's see what he gets up to in the next session, depending on what happens and what orders he's given. But that's him. He's kind of sat there waiting to support the situation. And of course, don't forget, we also have our spy here in Corduba as well, recently recruited. Carthalo Fabraka. One subterfuge. Could use some training if he's still alive after all this situation. Okay, so we'll leave Tingy for now. Tingy's the least of our concerns. Demidi is also upgraded, and we are now able to actually build the Governor's Palace here, should we wish to do so, but that's waiting for now. Serta, I've slightly trimmed the garrison here, because I'm really battling to save costs as much as I can. So I've done a bit of tweaking with the tax rates and a little trimming here, for instance. We are retraining, though. Of course, the port is upgrading, as it is in Parma as well. Parma's getting a port as well, so there's a few little odds and sods happening in the centre of the map here. But as we head further east, we have the situation with Corrales Bizaltes still besieging Corrales here. There's no extra traits for you, so it's still as the last session. No extra traits for you either. Yeehaw. I don't believe, at least. So that's the situation there. The most interesting situation, of course, is here in Carthage, where a new family member, Gisco Gadders, has taken control because, let's have a quick rundown of his traits again, just refresh ourselves, because he's married into the family, and, of course, Hasdrubal has done a bunk. Hasdrubal has done a runner to assist Thapsus, because he got wind that the Numidians were trying to strike out at Thapsus, or were on the way, so he's left Carthage in haste and has come to Thapsus to see if he can defend it. Obviously, his brother, his father, both reigned in Thapsus. Quite a history with a family here in this town, and does not want it to fall into enemy hands, so personally leading the attack, or the defence rather, should the Numidians continue towards Thapsus. So that's going to be quite interesting for me to roleplay in the next session, or over the next course of the next week. So yes, both interesting positions here. New governor of Carthage for the time being in Gisco, and of course me in all my splendour, now at 775 with the stats. I mean, pretty decent, man. Getting a mercenary captain last time out, giving me a bit of an extra command point, always nice. So that's the situation here. Well done, Lepsis Magna, or should I say Theodecalus, who captured Lepsis Magna in the last session. And yeah, it went pretty well. I auto-resolved it due to time, which is a little bit of a shame, because we wouldn't have lost anywhere near as many men as we did if we did fought the battle on the campaign map. But certainly not any of the elephants, for example. But hey, such is life. Theodecalus will have to roleplay that as a bit of a blunder on your part. Apologies, but there you go. It's already at a high tax. It's already at its maximum tax rate, and you can't build anything else here because this settlement has everything. The only thing left to do is to actually recruit some peasants in Carthage and bring those down, as was the original plan, which will help your settlement to expand in the future. So I'll get that done hopefully in the next session. But yeah, Lexis Magna looking good. And if you noticed in the last session there was a family member here, you're probably thinking, where's he gone? There was a family member stood outside a minute ago. Yes, you were correct. There was a family member stood outside there a minute ago. However, Theodeculus went outside and killed him. So well done, Theodeculus. You've not just taken Lexis Magna, but you've taken down one of their family members as well. So well done, sir. Well done. So no more family member there causing problems. That was a good piece of news there. Okay, so Theages, no extra traits or anything for you, I don't think. Although mildly extravagant, that could be a new one. I'm not sure. Is that a new one? Mildly extravagant? Could be. Could be. Anyway, you'll know better than I do, and you've got your bazaar in Iberian. We're still waiting, of course, for the bazaar in Syracuse and the practice range in Messana. But we'll get there eventually. Yeah, we will, I promise you. And finally, the last family member is Bommelka. I've put him back in the settlement, actually, which has taken away some of your movement points. But hey, an extra turn wasted, I suppose, if you wanted to carry on your march. But I do think that this problem needs to be dealt with first anyway. So yeah, you can start from here. That's the situation with your garrison. That's the situation with any of the buildings. Just a temple outstanding, actually, so there's nothing else we can do here. It's a very, very, very small population after the execution, so yeah, this place is not going to cause a problem at all. So it's just a case of sorting out this issue, and then probably, as you originally planned, pressing on to Siwa down there, and there's your stats and traits. So there you go. So that's the situation on the campaign map. Of course, the point of interest is, of course, Iberia, which, as I've just outlined, is not necessarily as bad as it may have first appeared. So the situation in the seas, I've just covered that here, but there's 3 more fleets to sort of... I think there's 3, maybe 3. There's certainly a few more fleets to sort out. We're sorting out the Heracles Shield fleet with Carthago Nova chipping in and helping out. Palma is soon to get its port, and between Palma and Cirta there will be a shield fleet here to watch over Palma, Cirta and Carthago Nova, so the shield fleet will be beached at Palma, I believe it was, so that's going to be recruited soon. There's going to be a shield fleet recruited in Carthage to free up this to act as a sword fleet. There's going to be another shield fleet in Syracuse recruited to free up this to be another sword fleet. This is already done, and this is going to be another sword fleet. So by the looks of it, there's 3 sword fleets there. There's a few shield fleets to sort of finish off. But yeah, we've made a decent amount of progress in the seas. These things don't happen overnight. The plans are in place. That's the main thing. And given time, we should have supremacy in the seas. I'm probably hoping within maybe the next sort of 6 to 8 turns, in fact. So yeah, slow, steady progress. But the good thing is, it's organised now. We've got a plan. We're organised. We know what we're doing. Master Ship's keeping us on an even keel, which is very nice to see. So there you go. It's a shortish video. I haven't gone quite in depth into some of the building and the stuff that I have done previous videos. The only reason why is because that stuff hasn't really developed a great deal since the last session. We've only done 3 turns, if that, this turn. So everything else is pretty much the same. So there's just a couple of things really to summarise and finalise. Then first of all, of course, there is a new family member, as I said in the previous video. Gisco Gades is available, so if you are on my waiting list, I will message you in Discord to see if you're still interested. In which case, I will just pick anybody that is in a random fashion. If any of those guys aren't available, then of course, Gisco Gades is available to be used. So if you're not on my waiting list and you are not involved in the roleplay and you think, you know what, I quite fancy getting involved here, it looks like a lot of fun, and if you've been following the roleplay on the Discord and want to throw yourself into the mix and roleplay as Gisco Gades, our current ruler of Carthage, very important position and great roleplay opportunity, then drop me a Discord message and I'll add you to the list, and yeah, I will pick this next character at random. That's the first thing. The second thing is, when is the next video going up? Okay, today's what, Sunday? Yeah, so the next video is going up on Friday. If I don't finish work late again, of course. So I will. It's very rare that I do finish work late. It's quite a rarity, so it shouldn't happen again. Touch wood, I'm hoping. I probably curse myself now, but anyway. So yes, again, get your orders to me. Official orders by lunchtime, 12 p.m. Friday, the 13th. Unlucky for some. And I will play the session out after work and get it up for you on Friday evening. That's the plan. I am going out Friday evening for a meal at 7 o'clock. So, you know, there is a bit of a tight time schedule, but I should be fine. So that's the deadline. The game save will be on the Discord as usual. If I've missed something or you want to see something in more detail, you can use a game save if you have the game. And if you don't have the game, I can always answer your questions in the discussion thread if you want to ask something specific. But there you go. I've given you a quick overview of the current position. It's not looking too bad. I've done a bit of reflection, and I'm pretty happy with how things are going. As soon as Iberia's ironed out, we're pretty much on a really smooth surface at that point. And we're not too far away from starting to launch an attack on the south of Italy, which will also be a hell of a lot of fun. So, yes, great roleplay opportunities available this week with some of the characters, given some of the developments. Bomulkar, for instance, is now landed and is ready to rock and roll. We've got, obviously, Theodecalus just capturing Lepsis and maybe hopefully finally lifting the Lepsis curse, perhaps. Gisco Gades is available as a new ruler, and myself has just moved and is preparing for a potential fight with the Numidian. That's quite great. And of course, Zixus and Theopanis have got some great opportunities ahead of themselves here for this situation. So lots of fun things, hopefully, in the week ahead. Looking forward to it. So anyway, join me in the next one, where hopefully we'll continue onwards to rise as Carthage. Until then, see you soon.